think it's on again. He never did show me how this worked. Anyhow, I'll just keep talking again. Seemed to work last time. Alright, Dougie's back. How you doing? So I showed that video to the student, didn't I, right? And he goes, it was alright actually, mate. I says, cheers. He goes, well, the thing is, right, you're talking about being a gangster, but you didn't say out about being a gangster. So I says, well, it's still a bit naughty stuff, innit? Still a bit naughty, you know, a bit illegal. And he says, you're going to be alright, mate. We can edit out all the stuff that could get you into trouble. So I says, alright, I'll give you a couple of lessons. That's what I'll do. I'll give you a couple of lessons about being a gangster. And he says, that's great, mate. So, it also says not to swear. I don't know why. Probably because his mum was watching. I don't know. I know his mum. Anyhow, right. The first lesson, lesson number 1, if you want to be a gangster, is you got to learn to get your hands dirty. You got to learn to get them in the poo. Sorry, his mum, I nearly swore. But you got to learn to get your hands in the poo. You can't be afraid to mess around with people, because people will mess around with you. You know, there's a saying in the gangster community, isn't there? It says, keep your friends close, because your enemies can be real bellends. So anyway, I says to him, I've got to tell you about this time, right, when I had this associate who did me over, and I needed to get back to him. And he goes, that's great, mate. And I says, you say it's going on this thing called YouTube? And he goes, yeah, we've had that conversation, Dougie. I says, I just worried that, you know, that might shock your mum, and the police might see it. And he says, look, mate, it's fine. So I think, well, fair enough then. I mean, I've never heard of this thing. So I can't imagine many people actually watch it, to be honest. You know, I've never heard of YouTube. So I think I'm on safe ground. So I'll tell you about this time, right, when I had this associate. I'm not going to tell you his name, but all I will say is, he bought some stuff off me, and I'm not going to tell you what he bought. You know what I mean? So anyway, what had happened was, he'd come back off holiday, and he was feeling a bit, you know, he wanted to calm down a bit. So he says, Dougie, I need you to get me some stuff. And I says, yeah, I got some stuff. And he goes, right, I'll have some. Now, I'm not going to go into details, but all I'll say is, I weighed it, I gave him it, he paid me, and I thought, job's a good one, got down the boozer, innit? He paid me in euros. Now, he was counting out, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that kind of stuff, and I thought, well, that's alright then. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest. I was looking out the window because I saw 2 dogs shagging, and when he'd gone, and when the dogs had finished, I noticed he'd paid me in these euros, and I thought, well, is he giving me the right amount of money or what? So anyway, I tried counting it out, but I couldn't figure out what it was. So I went to cash converters, and they said, we don't do that kind of converters, mate. You got to go to the Bureau de Change. Fair enough. So when I found out where that was, I went down to the Bureau de Change, and here's the thing, right? Me mate, well, it wasn't me mate. He's just an associate, wasn't he? He paid me £5 less than he would have done if he'd have used normal money. Can't have that. Can't have it. It's against the code. Well, that's what me mate said, Dougie. There's another Dougie. Don't get confused. There's 2 of us. There's the other Dougie. That's actually me. I'm the other Dougie. And there's Dougie. And Dougie goes, look, you got to wait for the right time to get him. And I said, no, I want to get him now. And he goes, no, mate. You got to wait. You got to wait. Because that's the lesson about being a gangster, isn't it? It's about intimidation. I says, is it? He goes, yeah, it is. I says, is it? He goes, yeah, it is. So I went, oh, then, he seems to know these things. So I go, how do we intimidate them then? Do we just like go around to his house? Because I says, I don't know where he lives. And he goes, look, it's alright. I know this fella. I know where he lives. You got to start a campaign of terror. So I'm thinking to myself, campaign of terror? What? Like, call him up and call him a knobhead or something? And Dougie goes, no, you got to go down to his house at night, and then you got to start campaigning in your terror. So I says, well, I like a bit of that. So I says, when are we going to go down to his house? And he goes, well, I don't know, tonight. I said, well, what time tonight? Because that's the thing about being a gangster, innit? When you're all part of the gangster lifestyle, you don't lead sociable hours. We don't go to bed the same time as you, do we? So, you know, you got to get down there quite late, because that's the thing about being a gangster. You go to bed when you're tired, and if you've got no reason to be tired, you know what I mean, then you're not going to go to bed early, are you? So we has to wait a bit. So we goes down the booze, and we have a few tinners, innit? And then Dougie says, right, it's late enough. We're going to go down, and we're going to start. So I think, right, that's what we're going to do then, innit? So we get down to his house, quite late actually. It's about 9:30. And we sees that he's still up, so I says, what should I do? Like, should I just put some dog poop through his letterbox or something? And he says, nah. You got to do this properly, mate. So I said, right, proper. So what we did was, we waited until he went to bed. We could see his lights go off. So it was about 9:45, so it was getting on a bit. So what I did was, like, as soon as I saw his light go off in his bedroom window, I walked up his, you know, up his garden. I went to his door and I knocked really hard like that. And then I ran away. And I ran away round the corner behind the car, and so I could look, see what was going on. And you know, what happened was, I saw him come out, he opened the door, no one there. Job done. Job done! I'll tell you what, I didn't get my money back that night, but he won't forget that night in a rush, will he? And that's number one about being a gangster. You can't let people walk all over you, can you? No, mate. He won't forget that night. Anyway, I think he knew it was me, because next time I saw him, I said to him, how you doing, mate? And he said, all right. He probably would have said that anyway. But that was just like the look. It was just like the look he gave me. And I thought, well, that's it then, innit? Job's done. And I'll tell you what, anything else he's bought off me, you know, he's paid the right amount of money. Probably because he hasn't been on holiday for a while, I don't know. But that's number one about being a gangster, innit? You've got to know how to intimidate people. You've got to know where to get them. Anyway, that's lesson number one, son. I'll give you another lesson tomorrow. Ta-da!